Individuals with this disorder are very prone to a state that we call dysphoria, and it's very hard to describe. It's in some sense an overwhelming sense of feeling bad, and it may include elements of depression, of rage, of anxiety, but mostly it's just a state of terrible distress. One of the intriguing things about the disorder is that this state of distress is usually triggered by specific kinds of events, loss or a rejection. What then happens is equally intriguing and disturbing, because these dysphoric states are so upsetting that the individual has to do something to stop them. And they take a number of different avenues to try to end this dysphoric state. Sometimes they can find a person, and the person can somehow comfort them and modulate and end this state. Another approach that's used is either taking an overdose or self-injury.
I was feeling scared. I was feeling lonely. I was feeling a lot of things that I just need a release from. I was feeling a lot of pain, but I was also feeling very unreal at the same time. Like, I just couldn't touch reality to see the scars.
A lot of times it's the fact that I can be so angry to where I just want to hurt someone else.
They do something we call splitting, the splitting defense. They see the world in black and white. Everything is either all good or all bad. They do that to themselves. I'm either all good or I'm all bad. Most of the time, then they're all bad.
There's no room for any good. If there is anything to remember good, there's no room for that, because you get so overwhelmed with feeling so bad. Nothing helps. And I don't think I can remember anything good, because I don't. But I can't focus. If I'm to that point, I can't focus on what's good or what's bad. I just can't do it.
This contradiction in their own self-images and in the images of others is what contributes to the borderline's difficulty in establishing a consistent sense of self. This is why they're so unstable and why their behavior changes so frequently, because they're constantly shifting between images of feeling great to images of feeling terrible, images of seeing you as someone they love, or images of seeing you as someone who's horrible and they can't stand.
They have relationship problems, a lot of chaotic, intense relationships, a lot of rage. Typically, the rage is connected to a lot of childhood trauma, for instance, incest, physical abuse, and so on.
Never bothering to ask me, never bothering to consider whether I was comfortable the way things were. Suddenly he realized that he had been inconsiderate, that this was his personality, that he really didn't take others' feelings into consideration, that he would really have to work to think about these things in order to change his behavior. Revealing his newfound understanding, he claimed, "My time is consumed by little obsessivities. I don't enjoy my free time. I can't allow myself to let go. I've been this way for a long time." Now, the way around this is to create a very supportive, well-structured environment for the patient, one in which he is encouraged to gradually develop a sense of trust in general. Tactfully and considerately, the therapist brings consistent attention to the incongruities and the inconsistencies in the patient's behavior. The maladaptive character trait is lifted, as it were, out of the level of personality, so that the person can look at it as an isolated behavior, rather than as something that all of him is invested in. Okay? He can look at it objectively and experience it as painful, egotistonic, foreign, a symptom to be gotten rid of.
Groups are the treatment of choice, and the reason the groups are the treatment of choice, I think, is the opportunity to say, my God, that guy is so self-centered, he never thinks about anybody but himself. And the other members may say to that, that's exactly what you do, to display the problematic behavior in a individual, a one-to-one. You have much more restricted opportunity.
In individual therapy, I learned to understand myself. But in group, I have to practice that understanding over and over again.